is it, the grand finale of the Penrite ASBK presented by Pirelli Ford 2026. And we are here at Queensland Raceway, back in the Sunshine State for the second time in a month.
I mean, it's been a fantastic season so far, hasn't it, Phil, Steve? All the races, every round, it's put on entertainment, but this track alone is going to make it spectacular for the season finale, I reckon.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, the amount of overtaking opportunities, the closeness of a lot of the championships, this weekend is just going to be a real one for the record books.
Well, the good thing about this year is that we've seen unbelievable racing at every single round. Last time out at Morgan Park, certainly no different. I think probably the big surprise was Harry Voigt coming out and winning both races, where we thought that Mike Jones was going to be the strong guy. He's going to be strong here this weekend, but last weekend also set up the Supersport Championships and the Supersport 300 Championships for a great finale this weekend.
Yeah, like you said before, we've got all three championships still to be decided this weekend, so some great racing we expect. But Morgan Park was really special, wasn't it? We hadn't seen a lot of Mike Jones this year so far, but he showed that he's still got the speed, and he's still got the speed here at Queensland Raceway as well, I reckon.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this track's a bit of an evener for me. It could be a Yamaha, it could be a Ducati, it could be any sort of bike that wins here. It comes down to the rider. It's a track that promotes very close racing, Phil. So, as you say, all the championships, anybody can win. It's not going to be a regular, I don't think.
Now, the other thing is that too, Morgan Park and here, not too different in distance, but very different in track layout. So two big changes from the two Queensland circuits. Championship points heading into this round this weekend. Of course, we see Harry Voigt on 198 points, Josh Waters on 174, Cameron Dunker has now moved up into third place on 146. But the battle for fourth place is well and truly on. In fact, the battle for third place is well and truly on, because Crew Halliday is on 135, Allerton on 130, and Jones on 129. And of course, Crew Halliday this weekend has just set pole position with an unbelievable time, only 13 thousandths of a second off the fastest ever lap here at Queensland Raceway.
And another man you just mentioned, Mike Jones in second place. Those two, we haven't really seen them fight for race wins so far this year, Phil, but I think they're going to be on this weekend. They looked really fast, they looked really consistent, and Crew looks at ease. He looks comfortable with the Ducati, getting really to groove with that bike, with the tyres, and he struggled around this track in the past, Steve, but he said he's really started to find a way to ride it.
Look, Crew Halliday for me is a guy that you need to watch here. He's been building on the Ducati all year. Let's remember he was Yamaha mounted earlier on, and he's doing such a great job out there, and he's aggressive. It's been a while since he's had a win. Maybe it's going to be here.
Well, also too, don't discount Mike Jones's teammate JJ Nalos, a secret weapon behind his efforts this weekend, which we'll talk about more later in the weekend. The big question, who will be taking home the Webb Plastics Trophy at the completion of this weekend and raising it above their heads as the Australian champion. But before we get underway this weekend, let's have a closer look at this Queensland Raceway layout with Chris Vermeulen and Steve Martin in your Ducati track preview.
Well, Steve, for this week's Ducati track preview here at Queensland Raceway, on paper this circuit looks very simple, doesn't it? But when you dig deep, there is a lot to this track.
There certainly is, Chris. I mean, the fact that there's only 6 corners and there's a lot of straights means that it's actually, the lap times are very, very close.
They are really, really close, and that's what we like about Superbike racing around here, and the racing is exciting. But down the Penrite straight here, the start-finish straight, and getting into turn 1, the braking area, Steve, there's quite a lot to it, isn't there?
Because the lap times are so close here from first to last place, it's really critical to find those little differences. And I mean, these guys out on track, they're looking for little things like a crack or a Penrite sign, something like that to use as a braking marker, just to try and find those little tenths.
Well, the exit of turn 1 and going all the way through turn 2, Steve, is all about corner speed and getting that momentum and flow. And then you get down this long back straight. The bikes are approaching close to 300 kilometres an hour, and getting on the brakes into Pirelli here, it really tightens up, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely it does. And this is one of the first overtaking opportunities really on this circuit, which means, again, you've got to change that braking approach, but it is super easy to run wide. So you do have to get that braking right.
The corner really tightens up on itself, Steve, and there's a new surface when you enter here as well. And like you say, it affects the turn massively. The drive out of this corner is just as crucial because it's onto another straight as well, and it really opens up. So watch the differences in lines around here.
Turn 6, Ducati corner. It's the final opportunity on this circuit to make a pass.
Yeah, definitely, Steve. And the passing opportunity is not only on the way in, it is a long corner. And we spoke about only 6 corners on this circuit, but this one goes forever. It's 180 degrees. So someone goes in here deep, you have the opportunity to get out the inside in the middle of the turn, and also the drive out to the finish line is important as well.
It certainly is. You've really got to wind it up and trust that edge grip, the drive grip from the middle of the corner. It's just who dares wins by twisting that throttle and feeling the grip.
There's a lot of camber change in this corner as well, Steve, because it's slowly going uphill as well. So you can use that to your advantage. But when you start to get on the exit of here, it sort of drops away. So like you say, feeling the throttle, feel on the brakes on the way into the corner, a lot to this circuit.
For me, Chris, this is a track of who dares wins. I can't wait to get the racing started.
It's going to be a fantastic final round of ASBK this year, isn't it? And that is your Ducati track preview for Queensland Raceway. The SW-motech Australian Superbike Championship comes down to this. 1 team, 2 riders.
Here comes Harry Voight to the finish line. 3 starts.
Harrison Voight, Harry, it's been great to see you in the championship this year. You've done a few wildcards in the past, but as a full-time rider, you've proven what you're capable of.
Yeah, it's been fantastic to be a full-time racer in the Australian Superbike Championship for a change. And yeah, I think from the past wildcards that I've done, it's definitely helped me go towards this 2026 season. And so far, it's been pretty good.
Well, Josh, comes down to the last round. You've been here before. You're a 5-time champion, but how has this season as a whole been for you?
It's tough. Round 1 didn't go to plan, and you can't go giving away points like that, so it's always been difficult. Obviously, my teammate Harry's been riding fantastic, which is great. Great to have, you know, tough competition.
I've always idolised him too. Ever since I started road racing, he was one of the main guys, along with Troy Herfoss and all the others. To be fighting for the championship with him, it's been a pleasure.
I know you got a lot of respect for your teammate, and you're going for a championship. Yeah. If it came down to the last corner and a dive bomb, though, would you take it?
Oh, that's not going to win me the championship, but yeah, it's for my ego, it'd be pretty good.
If it came down to the last turn, though, with what you say about him, all your respect, and it was for the championship, would you have that dive?
Yeah, 100%. I leave everything in the shed. When the helmet's down, I'm here to go racing, so I think it's the same for everyone.
This weekend, how do you play it? You're coming from behind.
I'm in second. It's not my championship to lose, so it's a pretty cruisy weekend for me, really. I'll just try and go the best I can.
You are the most successful rider in this championship, Josh. Good luck for the last round.
Thank you.
What would it mean to you to be an Australian Superbike champion?
Anyone that's followed me, I've had a challenging few years in Europe through injuries, and for sure it'd be quite special.
Harry, it's been great to see. Good luck.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Queensland Raceway. This is the final round of the Penrite ASBK presented by Pirelli for 2026. And we are about to go racing with the premier category, the SW-motech Superbike category. The champion could be crowned in this race, and a perfect time now to head down to the grid with Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I wanted to come and talk to this man, Anthony West. Westy, we haven't seen you since qualifying in the Bend. Tell us about your injury and how the recovery's been.
Yeah, broke my hand. Tried to keep it quiet because I just wanted to get back on a bike, you know. Old school mentality, just want to, it's broken, no, I can ride. I tried to, but it wasn't going to happen. It hasn't been too bad. This is the worst track to come back to with a broken hand where it is, because these are the 2 fingers used for braking, and this track is all hard braking. So it aches a bit. My bone sticks up here. Looks like it's swollen, but it's just a bone. Yeah, I don't know. I think the team have been doing a good job trying to get this bike ready for me for this race, and I'm happy with everything that they've been doing. I just hope I'm fit enough to last to the end of the race. I think we'll be strong at the start. As long as my hand holds up, I think we haven't always been at the front this weekend, but the times are close. If I can stick with them, we'll be good.
You'd think you'd be old enough to learn by now, wouldn't you? But obviously not.
I don't know. You would think so. I'm still silly enough to get on one of these things, so, you know, I haven't learned anything.
Good luck for the race, mate.
Thanks, man.
I thought I'd come to see one of the championship contenders, the reigning champion, 5 times champion, Josh Waters. Not used to seeing you this far back on the grid, but your speed's been good over the weekend.
Yeah, the speed's been good. It just wasn't fast enough in qualifying. So, been chasing our tails a little bit. We were so strong here last year. See how I go now. Try my best. All those normal things that I say.
You always give me the same lines, but I wish you all the best in this one, mate.
Nah, thank you.
There you go, and he's got a little bit of pressure on his shoulders because his teammate, who I'm going to try and grab now, who's right next to him on the grid. Now, these two guys have been quite dominant this season, as we know, but Harrison Voight coming into this round as the championship leader. 5th on the grid, not ideal to be back here, but you've shown speed as well this weekend.
Honestly, it's not that bad. If you were to tell me I was going to finish 5th after the practice sessions, I would have taken it. So it's been a challenging weekend, let alone everyone going really fast. So, but we've done well. The team around me have helped me a lot. So big credit to the guy beside me as well. So yeah, it's not too far to the front row here. So we'll just get stuck in and give it our best.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
YRT teammates Mike Jones and JJ Nalos round out the front row with Glenn Allerton heading up row 2, Harry Voight, the championship leader in 5th position, and Josh Waters, his rival, in 6th.
Yeah, can't wait to see Jack Favell there on that row 3 with Ant West next to him, and John Littris unfortunately won't be taking part in this first race due to engine failure.
Yeah, disappointing for Johnny Littris. Ollie Simpson once again doing double duty on board that Desmo Sport Ducati ahead of Cameron Dunker, mysteriously back there on the 4th row of the grid. Josh Newman, Ty Lynch, Morgan McLaren Wood all the way from New Zealand, and Luca Durning round out the field, Steve. This is going to be an exciting race because Crew Halliday, first time on pole here ever at Queensland Raceway, the local hero Mike Jones and his teammate JJ Nalos, who's shown pace all weekend on the front row of the grid, and the championship rivals that have won 7 of the 9 races held so far this season between them are back on the 2nd row of the grid.
It's a pressure cooker out there, and yeah, you're right. It's watch Waters and Voight. This is for the championship.
Mike Jones would have to be considered to be one of the favourites for a race win here as well, but Crew Halliday has been on the pace all day Friday, all day Saturday, and he starts from pole position in this race. With the brand new livery for the team this weekend. SW-motech, Superbike race 10 of the season, about to get underway. Championship on the line at Queensland Raceway. Red flag leaves the front of the grid. Superbikes, oh no, a great start from Jones. He launches the Yamaha R1 off the line, and his teammate JJ Nalos goes with him. Waters is flying through from the 2nd row of the grid. Allerton on a charge. Halliday back into 3rd position.
Yeah, that was a great start by Josh Waters. Exactly what he needed. Where's his teammate? Where is Harrison Voight? Back in 5th position. So not the best start for him, but look at Mike Jones as doing what he does best, leading races, and he is fast at this Queensland Raceway into Pirelli Corner.
Yeah, Glenn Allerton is also one to watch here this weekend. He was the fastest in the first practice session on Friday and was challenging all the way for that pole position as well.
Different conditions, but who won the last race here, Phil? It was Allerton.
And it was in tricky conditions. Who's to say that we're not going to end up with tricky conditions in this one? But Allerton, he doesn't care whether it's wet or dry. He always rises to the occasion at this circuit. And also, too, you can see there Ollie Simpson just ahead of his teammate Ant West as well. Shows how good Ollie Simpson is adapting to this Superbike.
Absolutely. Just remember that Westy coming back from injury as well. Good to have him back, and good to see Desmo Sport Ducati fielding 2 bikes this weekend.
Cameron Dunker's got a good start as well. He's already made up a few positions on that first lap, sitting right in behind Jack Favell on the Addicted to Track machine. Favell, another one who's shown considerable pace this weekend. Harry Voight's now right up onto the back of his teammate Josh Waters as they make their way through Blue Crew corner and out onto the long back straight. Jones already starting to pull out about a 0.2 of a second lead over Allerton.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Mike Jones would want to see, and Glenn Allerton runs wide. Up the inside goes Crew Halliday, but he doesn't pull it off. Allerton pulls it back.
Well, as we've seen, you can run a little bit wide in that corner, but I think Glenn Allerton was probably in just a fraction wider than what he really wanted to be. But we can confirm from race control there's no jump starts, so we're off and running in this SW-motech Superbike race, race 10 of the season. Halliday having a look down the inside of Allerton. Oh, contact between Voight and Waters. The two McMartin Racing riders come into contact at Ducati corner.
We've got Jonathan Narlos up there in that 6th position as well. So there's Jonathan Narlos. He qualified really well and is adapting beautifully to that Yamaha R1. So
first flying lap of the race, the fastest man on circuit, Crew Halliday with a 107.284. A fraction of a second faster than, in fact, 3/1000ths of a second faster than Harry Voight with a 7.287. You can see the contact there between Harry Voight in the bottom of your screen and Josh Waters. Waters getting hung out to dry.
Pretty obvious it's championship time, isn't it, with a move like that on your team, mate? But we know that Harry Voight is not scared to get the job done. Fastest lap of the race, 107.2 for Crew Halliday so far.
And welcome back to Queensland Raceway. This is the final round of the Penrite ASBK presented by Pirelli for 2026.
Down the straight they go, and it is Mike Jones. Hard on the brakes into Ducati corner again. And he's doing a pretty good job out there at the front at maintaining the pace. A low 107 is a pretty hot pace out there.
That was a big wheelie coming out of Racing Road that time for Harry Voight. You can see how hard he's riding that machine to try and make his way up onto the back of Crew Halliday's stop and seal machine. So Jones still leads by a small margin over Glenn Allerton. Of course, Jones has not recorded a race victory this year. He's had 2 podiums. Last time out at Morgan Park, first time he'd stepped onto the podium in the 2026 season. Well, he really wants to try and take a race victory here at his home circuit.
Exactly. I was going to say, this is his home circuit. If it's going to happen, it's got to happen here this weekend. He's won here plenty of times in the past, and he is doing a good pace at the moment, but they are starting to bunch up behind him, and up the inside goes Crew Halliday into Ducati corner and makes that move on Allerton.
Oh, tight line 2 from Harry Voight. Will he move up into 3rd and Allerton gets shuffled back to 4th? No, Allerton fights back immediately on the run out of Ducati corner and maintains 3rd position. But that move from Crew Halliday, that was set up with the drive out of Racing Road corner, and then he was positioned perfectly for the run down into Ducati corner, and now he set the big 0 target onto the back of Mike Jones's Yamaha.
Don't count Josh Waters out of this yet. He's all over the back of his teammate as well.
Well, we know that Waters was good in the latter stage of the race. That's Harry Voight. Getting all out of shape on the brakes. There's no way that Allerton can put his bike on the bit of tarmac that he needs to get into that corner, because it was all occupied by a crossed-up McMartin Racing with Hi-Tec Ducati, bike number 29 of Harry Voight.
Yeah, that was a big move up the inside. Did Allerton make it out of that?
He did, but I think he lost a little bit of drive, and he's now starting to fall back into the clutches.
Let's have a
So
look
we
at
see
the
a Blue Crew replay. Look at this. Harry Voight on the absolute limit on board that machine. The Voight contracting entry. Oh, Allerton and Waters are still well and truly in this, as is JJ Narlos hanging onto the back on board bike number 20. And of course, remember, after this race, Stevens, Halliday down the inside of Jones. Down the inside of Jones at Ducati corner. The pole man, Crew Halliday, is into the lead, and Harry Voight's through as well. Jones has been relegated 2 positions in 1 corner.
That was a big move by Voight, and I'm guessing that Halliday is going to feel the pressure pretty soon. What will Mike Jones do? A little bit of a bobble from the front of Mike's bike there too.
Well, Craig McMartin, the team principal, looking on there.
I did notice his fingernails were quite short.
I reckon they've been getting shorter and shorter as this race has gone on. The McMartin Racing prepared stop and seal entry leads from Yamaha Racing Teams. Mike Jones, who got back into 2nd place. Harry Voight on the McMartin Racing with Hi-Tec entry, still holding down 3rd. So we're on lap 13 of 16. Halliday holds a lead as they came across the start-finish line that was measured at just under half a second. Another 0.9 of a second back from Harry Voight to Mike Jones, holding down 3rd on board bike number 46. You can see the legs go out as they get on the brakes down into Pirelli corner. JJ Narlos is certainly still giving Glenn Allerton something to think about. on the second of the YRT machines.
Yeah, Narlos not with the perfect setup this weekend. He doesn't have, well, he's got a standard rear swing arm in his bike instead of the M model swing arm, which is anybody can buy, but it's not in that bike. So unfortunately, his first time he rode it was in warm-up this morning, so not what he qualified on, so he's doing a good job out there.
See Josh Waters, the bike just starting to move around a fraction, but Waters is still managing that tyre. You can see Big Dan there holding out the signs for Josh Waters as he comes across the line.
The Advocates Ducati rider, hard on the brakes. That team's come a long way in a short period of time as well.
Certainly haven't. Allison, considering that he's in his... Allison and Ant West are the two oldest riders by a clearly or large margin over the rest of the field, the most experienced riders, but Allison's shown that there's still a massive amount of determination there. So fast in qualifying, so fast in practice over the weekend, and well and truly in the mix in this race as well, holding down 5th position.
Oh, he's closed up there, he's run wide, but you can see now that the number 29 is trying absolutely everything. The crew looks over his shoulder.
Last lap board comes out for Crew Halliday. 15 laps down, 16 lap race journey. 3.12 kilometres to hold on now for Crew Halliday, and 3.12 kilometres to go before Harry Voight could be crowned Australian champion as he slides the bike out onto the back straight through Blue Crew corner.
How desperate is Harry Voight going to get here?
I think the desperation level may have just dropped off a fraction a lap or so ago.
I don't think so. I don't think he's settled for second just yet.
Well, Mike Jones is hopeful that he can still hold on to this podium, and I think now he's got a safe enough gap over Josh Waters back there in 4th position. Out of Race and Road corner we go. Only one more corner for Crew Halliday to hang on to take the race victory.
Yeah, it's going to be a big move if he does it.
Down into Ducati. You can see Halliday's eyes focus towards the finish line to take his 5th career Superbike victory. Across the line he comes. Harry Voight is the 2026 Penrite ASBK champion, presented by Pirelli. The 2nd youngest Australian Superbike champion in history, behind Anthony Gobert, who was 19 years and 5 months old when he won the championship. Congratulations to Harry Voight on the Voight contract in McMartin Racing with Hi-Tec entry.
What a year he's had. What a year. We knew he was fast on that bike when he first got there, but to put it all together for a whole year and beat guys like Josh Waters, like Mike Jones, over the course of a year just proves the amount of talent that this young guy has got. He's going to go a long way, Phil. He really, really is.
He'll be going a long way tonight, Steve, because he'll be jumping straight back on a plane and heading back to Europe to compete in the European Moto2 Championship. But Crew Halliday celebrates his 5th ever career victory with a .476 victory over Harry Voight, your 2026 champion, in 2nd. Mike Jones rounds out the podium, Josh Waters in 4th, and Glenn Allison rounds out your top 5.
Jonathan Nalos there in 6th. 7th was Cam Dunker, made his way forward. Jack Favell in 8th. 9th, Anthony West. And Ollie Simpson gets a great top 10.
Just going through some of Harry Voight's stats for the year, Steve. 5 race wins, 7 podiums with 1 race to go this afternoon, 2 pole positions, and he's wrapped up the Australian Superbike Championship for 2026.
Yeah, it was a long time between drinks. I think it was 20 years. I was the first one, then it was 20 years, but they're coming in quick succession now. And that's what Harry thinks about it. I think he thinks it's pretty good.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that Craig won't mind cleaning all of the rubber off the back of that machine. Gets congratulations there from Robbie Bolger.
Let's head down to Chris with our champion.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. An SW-motech Australian Superbike champion, the 2026 champion, Harrison Voight. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, and feels even better to get it done the first race. Gosh, it's been a nerve-wracking weekend. I've felt all the emotions, and just since the start of the week. So a big thank you to everyone that's helped me get it. It's been a tough run the past couple of years, and to achieve this, like, the younger me would be blown away. The first time I started road racing, I was always watching Josh, Troy Herfoss, Troy Bayless, all those people, and I always idolise those people. So to even be teammates and race against Josh, it's been a pleasure, and I take my hat off to Josh. He's helped me a lot the past couple of years, just being involved in the team, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Oh, Harrison Voight, enjoy this moment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, guys, our champion. But we will get the podium finishes as well. Race winner, Crew Halliday. Crew, that was, it's great to see you back with that speed. Pole position, you looked really confident before the race, and you proved you were right.
Yeah, Robbie said to me what the game plan is, and there's, you know, in Superbike racing you always try and make a plan, and it never works out, as you would know. And but this track's a bit different. I didn't really want to lead at the start. Just wanted to see what everyone's pace is at, and you know, I just kept an eye on my dashboard. And you know, once I seen the lap time starting to go into the fours, like Mike was running fast pace, doing like constant 2s and 3s. But once I started to see it drop like 4, 5s and around 6s, I was like, okay, time to go. I wasn't planning on passing him that early in the race, and I thought I'll just do it. If he passes me back, it is what it is, and we'll have a race. But I just put my head down, concentrated on my marks. I seen orange in the back of my, when you look through turn 3 up the straight into 4, I could see orange, and I'm like, is that Josh or is that Harry? I can see because it's so bright. I look back and I seen 29. I was like, oh, here we go. And just trying to knock off. You know, I think everyone was losing grip, especially out of turn 2 and turn 5, which is inside left. But yeah, I just managed it really good. Mucked around with some like electronics out there, which is really good, and yeah, it just felt really good. Felt like the race actually happened really slow, but I guess that's when you're riding fast, everything feels slow, so it's good.
Oh, well, that was great to see. Good luck this afternoon.
Yeah, big thanks to Robbie Bolger, Claire Shark. You know, they, as I said, they put so much money into this sport, into this team. Brian, my 2 crew chiefs, Ken and Brent. And a big mention, I forgot to say yesterday, Bo Beaton. He's been working on my electronics lately, so hats off to him, and yeah, thanks to everyone.
Great to see you. There you go. It's our race winner.
Well, thanks very much, Chris, and congratulations to Harry Voight and McMartin Racing. 20 years and 1 month, 16 days old. Harry Voight, just fractionally younger than what Matt Mladen was when he won the 1992 championship, as they celebrate the podium for race 10 of the season. Harry Voight, as we mentioned, crown champion today, straight on a plane to head back to Europe tonight.
Well, he might want to take a shower.
He will probably want to have a shower before race number 2, and that is his Webb's Plastics Trophy as the Australian Superbike champion. Well, congratulations to Harry Voight, because earlier today he wrapped up his first ASBK championship as a rookie, and also the second youngest champion in the history of the ASBK Championship, the 37-year history of the ASBK Championship, and he's down on the grid with Chris.
Yes, he is, and I've caught him having a good time. Harrison Voight, unfortunately, we're not going to get to see you race, but you did wrap up that championship in style. You fought for it very hard all season, but not riding.
Yeah, I just want to minimise the risk. Took a bit of a gamble in that first race, and I put on the line because I knew the second race was going to be trickier conditions. So I fly out tonight back to Europe, and I race next week. So just want to stay safe. I did what I had to do, and yeah, for sure, I'd probably better to be out there and learn things, but I've got to look at the bigger picture and be smart. So yeah, overall, I prefer to watch it now.
Well, it's a shame not to see you out there, but good luck for the rest of your season overseas.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
But yes, Glenn Allison would have to be a serious chance at taking victory here in this race with the previous form that he has shown in tricky conditions.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to getting this underway, but a little bit different conditions this time, Phil. The reason for that is because last time it was wet. This time it's greasy, and greasy is a lot different. You can see the guys here, they can't really even, at the moment, get their knee on the ground. There's no rain falling. You can see how slippery it is on the side of the track there, on the concrete curb on the outside there.
Well, Crew Halliday will start from pole position. Mike Jones and JJ Narlos join him on the front row of the grid. The man we're all talking about, Glenn Allison, starts out of position number 4. Harrison Voight won't start out of position number 5, but Josh Waters is there in P6.
Yeah, Jack Favell, keep an eye on him. Anthony West, well, he's another one to watch in the wet. And John Littris, well, he's not there either.
Though, unfortunately, a weekend of mechanical woes for Johnny Littris. Ollie Simpson will start out of position number 10. Cameron Dunker in 11th. Watch him off the start line as well. He doesn't mind the slippery conditions. Josh Newman, Ty Lynch, Morgan McLaren Wood and Luca Durning round out your field. A little bit of rain still falling as we get ready to go racing for the last race on today's program, Steve. The grand finale of the Penrite ASBK Ford 2026 presented by Pirelli here at Queensland Raceway. Championships have all been crowned now across all of the classes. Just one more race to go on the program. Best way to go into the off-season is having that last race victory under your belt. Who will be the final victor for 2026? We are about to find out in 16 laps time as the red flag leaves the front of the grid. In the starter's hands. Superbikes go for the final time in 2026, and it is Mike Jones that blasts the Yamaha Racing Team R1 off the line. Fast starting 2 from Josh Waters up into position number 2. Around the outside, was that Ant West?
Possible.
No, or Ollie Simpson. Ollie Simpson.
It is Ollie Simpson.
He's just been out there in the Supersport race. He knows exactly what the conditions are like, and he has started this race on fire, Ollie Simpson. First time he's ever led a Superbike race.
Well, exactly. He's just come in. He knows what to expect. He's got the feel. Completely different bike. Let's just hope that he can hold it together, because he'll be approaching things at much higher speed than he was on his V-twin. But a great start for Desmo Sport rider Ollie Simpson.
Yeah, Crew Halliday has gone backwards. He's back in the mid-pack now, just being overtaken by Cameron Dunker there on the exit of turn 3. Of course, Cameron Dunker, difficult qualifying, starting out of position number 11, not where we expect one of the riders that's taken a race victory this year to be starting from, and he'll be charging forward. There he is on board bike number 3. That's the blue Marlin Pools East Racing Team machine. And hearing that rumours around the paddock that team is expanding to 2 riders for the 2027 season. Can't wait to see who Cameron Dunker's teammate will be.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be somebody that's good, that's for sure, because that team's a good team, and they're not here just to fill the numbers up, so cannot wait to see. But look at the lead that the number 45, Ollie Simpson, has got. Guess who's in second place?
Glenn Allerton on board the Superbike Advocates machine. Bike number 14, the man that we picked as a serious challenger for this race. Dunker has already moved up again. He's now into position number 6 and starting to really get some momentum up. Next date on his calling card is the Yamaha Racing Team duo of Mike Jones and JJ Narlos. Now, we spoke earlier, Steve, about JJ Narlos having a different swing arm in that bike to an issue that they had to address. The shorter swing arm in the wet, hindrance or help?
Well, it can give you more grip. Well, firstly, let's explain. There's 2 Yamaha models. There's the standard model, and there's the M model, which is the racing model. Now, these guys, Mike Jones, they have the race model bike, which has a longer swing arm. That is...
I think that's Lucas
Durning, yeah. Unfortunately for him, it's all over. I'm not sure if that's a mechanical issue or if he's binned it, but we'll find out soon. Anyway, unfortunately for Jonathan, he had an issue with his M model long swing arm. You can actually see the colour difference in the swing arms there. So he had to go with a standard swing arm, which is shorter. Not ideal for the racing that these guys are doing out there, but it can give a little bit more grip. So a shorter swing arm puts more weight on the rear wheel, can give more grip or nimbleness, and there you go, there's a little example of nimbleness right there.
Possibly a little bit more drive as well with more weight on the back tyre.
Exactly.
And there's Cameron Dunker dealing with the rain master, Ant West.
Remember that Westy is struggling with that issue at the moment with his hand as well. So.
Well, you would think too that the lighter loads of a wet race would probably help Ant West in that broken hand a little bit too.
Yeah, how good is Morgan McLaren Wood doing here at the moment on the MotoGo R1?
Well, he's a Kiwi. The Kiwis are usually pretty good in the wet.
Well, it seems to be very good on the wet. He's hanging in there, so good to see.
And welcome back to Queensland Raceway. This is the final round of the Penrite ASBK presented by Pirelli for 2026. Crew Halliday has also found his mojo, although I think he's going to run in there too deep. Oh, he wants to get it stopped and turned before that very slippery area. When we were doing the track preview, Steve, we pulled up on that and we said, that's going to be very slippery in the wet. And you can see just how slippery it is there. You would not want to be going on that.
Like
and Crew Halliday was merely millimetres away from getting onto that very slippery tarmac on the outside of Pirelli corner.
Gee, I'll tell you what, Morgan McLaren Wood is on an absolute mission out there at the moment. He's right on the back of Mike Jones now. Mike Jones just in front.
Here again, look at him on the brakes. He is so strong on the brakes.
Obviously got a lot of confidence in the front end of the MotoGo Yamaha.
Yeah.
Into SW-motech corner. Westy gets back up the inside through bike sales and will now lead them through Blue Crew and up onto the long back straight. And we're pretty sure that Desmo Sport Ducati will have the legs, that McLaren Wood is not going to be able to come back in a straight line.
No, but we know how good he is on the brakes, and he's looking up the inside there. Let's just hope he doesn't overcook it. I think Westy's... Look at McLaren Wood!
What? I think West doesn't even know how that happened. Well, that's a clear example of getting drive out of the corner.
Oh, handlebar.
That was Jones and Nalos, I think, that had a bit of a tangle there.
Well, it was either that or McLaren Wood, I think, and Nalos. But nevertheless, Nalos is the loser of that.
So Ollie Simpson's lead is now out to over 3 seconds at the front of this field.
Morgan McLaren Wood's in 4th place. Oh, he's wide. He's run wide.
Very wide in Ducati corner, and I think Ant West will straighten the bike up and race him down the Penrite straight here.
Can you imagine Patrick Lee on the pit wall down there, the owner of MotoGo? He will be...
I was going to say, I wonder if Chris Vermeulen can get a word out of him. Probably none of them will make sense, though, because Patrick Lee will be that excited with his rider and the performance that he's doing at the moment. Look at this. The tight line on the inside of both Ant West and JJ Nalos doesn't put a foot wrong, completely in line and getting great drive. Oh, that was Ant West and JJ Nalos that had the coming together.
It was. Oh, here he goes again. Like, this is just incredible.
Well, just remember, Steve, that Morgan McLaren Wood in his ASBK debut, unison there, sideways, but he's battling with one of the greatest rain riders of all time in Ant West.
Well, he certainly is, but he's riding around like it's dry. Westy's just had an engine issue.
Yep, I'd say that's a problem for Ant West.
Yep, I saw smoke come out the back of the bike there, and I'm pretty sure that he's got some sort of an issue. Let's just have a look at the Blue Crew replay. Comes out, spins it up. Just look at the smoke that pops about. Big moment there. And there you go. See the smoke there? And look, it's locked up. Something's happened there. He's lucky to stay on that, so not too sure.
He was pretty quick on the clutch too, wasn't he, to get it back in a line?
Yeah, he needed to be, because it looked like it locked up. So not 100% sure what happened there, but...
Just an update on the gap. It has come down to 1.5 seconds now, because on the last lap, Allerton did a 16.4, Simpson a 16.7. The gap now as they go through the intermediate at Sector 1 is 1.3 seconds. So Allerton is on a charge. Ollie Simpson needs to be aware that closing in very quickly from behind is a very determined 3-time Australian Superbike champion who wants to take another victory this year.
I'm hoping that Chris knows how to say the name Morgan McLaren Wood because he's in 3rd position now.
So he has been charging forward, Morgan McLaren Wood, getting the better of Josh Waters. And Mike Jones is closing in.
You said that like it meant nothing. You just passed a 5-time Australian champion.
Well, have a look behind him. He's got 8 Australian championships right behind him right now with Josh Waters and Mike Jones.
Look, super impressive. The battle up the front, though, it is between those guys. I mean, Josh Waters, he's doing what he needs to do. On his mind, I want to point out Josh Waters, while we're on screen with him, he is also flying out this week to the Ducati World Weekend to race Marc Marquez and all the top Ducati riders around the world on this similar sort of motorcycle at Bazzano. Can you imagine that? What an honour for him to be chosen by Ducati to come and do that as a thank you for everything that he's done for the Ducati brand here in Australia over the last few years that he's been riding with them.
Yeah, certainly a great honour for Josh Waters. And he said he was pinching himself when he got the invitation to go there. I think Josh Waters will go very well in that so-called demonstration. We all know it's going to be a race.
Look, it's going to be a race, but I said to Josh, mate, go there and it's a pinch yourself moment. Go have a holiday, go have fun, and go and ride the bike around Bazzano and
be on track. Be on track at the same time as the MotoGP World Champions.
Exactly. Chris?
Yeah, Yeah, guys, I thought I'd come and find Patrick Lee. You spoke about him before. Morgan McLaren Wood. What a ride, Patrick. You must be really happy so far.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great race in the wet. And Morgan, the first time, racing the team, and we just put him in the wild car. And from beginning, he's very loud and step by step. He ride really well. And giving me super exciting when he can ride really well in the wet so far. And then, we just did a really. Pardon?
You need a little bit more time in the dry, and it can be competitive.
Not this stage, but we will try step by step. Yeah.
It's been great to see because you've brought riders in all categories, and they've had fantastic results as wildcards.
Yeah, for sure. It's a busy weekend for us. I've got 2 guys from Thailand, now 1 guy, Morgan from New Zealand, but 3 guys all on the podium. Great weekend for us.
Fantastic. Enjoy, Patrick.
Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick. It's been certainly a great weekend. Of course, the second time he's brought both Anyapab and Critic Pat to the ASBK Championship. But look at this, Steve. We're getting down to the business end now, and it's business time for Glenn Allerton. I bet he's got the business socks on underneath the blue Alpine Star boots as he closes in on our long-time race leader, Ollie Simpson.
He's right there now. Ollie Simpson last time round with a 117.1. Allerton clicking off those 116.5s.
That gap was up to 3 seconds about 5 laps ago, and it has just been absolutely gobbled up, evaporated, as Glenn Allerton charges forward, pulls out from behind Ollie Simpson and blasts on past. Now we've got a rider here who has now had 3 meetings on board that Desmo Sport Ducati V4, and a rider who has been racing in the Superbike category for pushing up towards 20 years now. Remember, he won his first ASBK Championship in 2008, Glenn Allerton. He's ridden Yamahas, he has ridden Hondas, he has ridden BMWs, and now he's on board that Ducati and looking Ollie Simpson fights back on the inside. That's a big move there from Ollie Simpson, and I think he's let Glenn Allerton know, hey, you're not going to get this one because you're a 3-time champion.
I think Allerton ran a little bit wide there and left the door open because that corner is the slipperiest corner on the track. It's a little bit off camber. It's a left.
That's the one that caught Valentino out too.
Yeah. So we have a look on the Blue Crew replay there of Allerton blitzing down the straight into Pirelli corner. At that point, Ollie Simpson decides to nip back up the inside there after Allerton runs wide through Racing Road. And yeah, I mean, I think Allerton's got that little bit more. It's just what is in the mindset of Ollie Simpson. Is he going to go for the win or his first ever Superbike podium? Does he play it safe or does he risk it all? That's what he's got to decide right now.
Well, maybe Glenn Allerton has made the decision for him with a pretty healthy gap that he's managed to put on just on the run down the back straight and into Pirelli corner.
You can hear the traction control, the amount of traction control and cut there. That's how little grip there is. It's like literally cutting all the power out of the bike. That's that funny burbling noise you can hear when they come out of Pirelli corner there. Oh, no!
McLaren Wood has run off the circuit at turn 3.
Does he maintain that 3rd spot, though?
No, I don't think so. There's no way in the world he could because he was only...
well, he was a decent way in front.
I think Mike Jones is going to be up into 3rd place now. Yep, he is.
Oh.
So Mike Jones up into 3rd place. Josh Waters up into 4th now. McLaren Wood has slipped back to...
Yep, okay.
Well, he's back to at least 7th place. Probably coming under threat from JJ Narlos. 15 laps down, final lap. Glenn Allerton in the lead. We would hate to say we didn't think this was going to happen, but we both did. We knew that it was a distinct possibility that Glenn Allerton was going to thrive in these tricky conditions. And at half race distance, Steve, I was starting to get a little bit worried that my prediction may have been a little overzealous with the ride from Ollie Simpson, one of the rides of the year for mine. Remember, he jumped on a Superbike for the first time at the Bend Motorsport Park when Ant West was injured, did no practice, no qualifying, started from the back of the grid. I think he scored points in every single race that he's contested so far this year on board that Superbike. Even though Ant West was back this weekend, Ollie Simpson still on the bike as a third rider. And he's closing in on the back of Allerton. Is he going to have the audacity to try and overtake the three-time Australian champion as they make the run down into Ducati corner for the final time?
He is.
Oh, no. He's going to run a fraction wide. It's not going to matter. He's still going to hold on to second position.
Oh, that was brave.
Glenn Allerton takes a win at Queensland Raceway in wet, tricky conditions once again. Across the line. What a ride from Glenn Allerton from the second row of the grid. Ollie Simpson, absolutely unbelievable as Cameron Dunker sneaks up the inside of Morgan McLaren Wood. That's for sixth position. Right at the floor. Oh, Dunker almost out of the seat. Mike Jones comes across the line to take third. His third podium of the year. Josh Waters in fourth. Halliday in fifth. Dunker sixth. McLaren Wood, what a ride to seventh.
Well, yeah, it was an interesting ride, that one, wasn't it?
It was a wild ride, that's for sure. Congratulations to Glenn Allerton and the Superbike Advocates team. I reckon he's pretty excited about that one. There is confirmation of your results. Allerton takes the win by 0.8 of a second over Ollie Simpson. Mike Jones in third, Josh Waters in fourth. Halliday eventually finished in fifth place. Cameron Dunker in sixth, Morgan McLaren Wood in seventh, JJ Nalos in eighth, Jack Favell in ninth, and Josh Newman rounds out your top 10. Unfortunately, Ant West and Luca Durning did not make it to the finish in that race. We have just seen an unbelievable race victory for Glenn Allerton, the sixth rider in 2026 to take a race win, and the top three have made their way to the podium. There with Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah, thanks very much. SW-motech, last Superbike race of the season. Mike Jones back on the podium again. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Those are always the most trickiest races. I mean, it just started showering a little bit before the race started, and that's when it's really tough because you don't have a lot of time to go, decide whether we're going to go for a wet setup or a dry setup because the track was a bit sort of almost half and half. But yeah, fortunately the team did a fantastic choice in deciding what to go with in the setup with the bike. I felt very comfortable on it. It did take me a little bit to sort of get my feet and get comfortable, but it was the same for everyone. It was pretty challenging out there. This track's got some notoriously sort of slippery parts to it, so some parts are really grippy and other parts are a little bit more slippery, so it's a bit of a matter of finding out what's where, but yeah, really happy to get a third place in that race.
Oh, it's great to see. Enjoy it.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Our third place man. And his first ever podium in the Australian Superbike Championship, in the SW-motech Superbike class, I should say. Ollie Simpson, congratulations, what a ride.
Oh, I'm so happy. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. I knew I had a bit of a edge at the beginning because I had just come off the wet bike on the V2, so I knew I had to just push as hard as I can on those first few laps. And when I seen the gap sort of stay the same for a long time the race, I just couldn't believe it. I'll just keep this pace, and man, it was sketchy out there. It was real hard, especially on the bigger bikes. There's more power, so you're just sort of trying to look for any wet patch you can. And as soon as it hit a dry patch, it would hook up. So looking for them out the corners, and it's just awesome. I can't thank the team enough, Chris and Benny. Everyone, Ed, the whole team, they do so much, and it's nice to get on the podium on the Ducati for the first time on the V4, so happy. Yeah.
Oh, we enjoyed it as well. Enjoy it yourself.
Thank you so much.
Our second place man and our race winner. He's won here in the past in iffy conditions, and he proved it wasn't just a fluke. Glenn Allerton, what a ride.
Yeah, thanks. That felt really good. It didn't feel like it was going to go my way at this very beginning. Ollie was so fast, but Robin did a really good job with the TC and electronics without ever having a chance to give me a wet run. I felt restricted at the start, but it actually sort of saved the tyre for me, and at the end I could just keep knocking out those low 16s. I just kept believing that eventually he was going to make a mistake, something was going to happen, and I was going to win.
It was fantastic for us to watch, so yeah, enjoy this race win. It was great to see, and yeah, we can't wait to see you next year.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
There you go. Our SW-motech Superbike podium.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. Your championship points after that final race of the year. Harry Voigt is your champion on 218 points. Josh Waters finishes second on 208 points. Crew Halliday claims third position by 2 points over Cameron Dunker in fourth. Glenn Allerton in fifth. Mike Jones in sixth. JJ Nalos in seventh. Jack Favell in eighth. Ralston in ninth. Of course, didn't complete the last couple of rounds after going to Europe to compete in the championships over there. Racing in MotoGP tonight. And Johnny Littress in 10th. Back down to Chris.
Yeah, thanks very much, Phil. What about Harrison Voight? You didn't touch on him. The man that won this championship. He won so many races. He was dominant early on. We knew he had speed. He'd ridden as a wild card in the past, but then to come out as a full-time rider in that team, now let's face it, it's the championship-winning team, but he had the reigning champion next to him. So pretty tough position to be in, and he proved that he's worthy to be there.
A lot of pressure having a guy, a 5-time champion like Josh Waters as your teammate, with one of the best teams in the paddock next to you as well. All that information, all that pressure, but the racing that he put on throughout the year, the domination that he put on, it shows why he's racing overseas, why he's getting on a plane tonight to head overseas. And for me, big respect to him to go, okay, I could go out there now and win, but I'm thinking of my future. He did the right thing, not to race.
No, he definitely deserves this championship, and it was great to see. I can't wait for the Summer Championship to start. It's only in October, so what do you reckon, Phil?
Yeah, Chris, I agree. I can't wait for the 23rd to the 25th of October at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. That's where round 1 of the 27 championship will get underway. Round 2, we go to the Ben Motorsport Park on the 13th to the 15th of November. One raceway at Steve Martin's birthday celebration at Goulburn in December. Then we come back here to Queensland Raceway in January. Middle of January, in fact, it's going to be a bit different proposition that weekend. Round 5, Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit with World Superbikes. And the grand finale under lights at Sydney Motorsport Park on the 19th to the 20th of March 2027. Congratulations to all of our champions across all of the classes. Thank you very much to Motorcycling Australia, all of the officials that have volunteered their services all year, and of course the volunteer marshals. We can't wait to see you all trackside in 2027.